Okay, morning. It's 9:21 a.m. in the morning. I got 2 teas. So my name's Louis. I'm from Southwest UK. If you're joining us for the first time, I think we have. Oh, let me just let the dogs in. Right, come on then. In you come. Come on. In you go. Got my 2 Jack Russells with me today. No children. No children with me today. Hello, the 2 dogs are here. My wife's at school because she's a school teacher. She also is a gymnastics teacher. And I have a 16-year-old who's just left school. So he's upstairs asleep. I have called Rio. I have a 15-year-old who is at school. And I also have Yasmin, who is 7. Hi, cat girl in Michigan. What time is it where you are? Welcome. And then I have Tino. I think we all know Tino, who's 4, who's just gone to school. And I have a 17-year-old girl called Talia, who I think is she's gone to work and she's a student as well. So I got 5 kids with my wife. 5 kids. I'm a busy boy, and my wife is full-time. I'm a part-time stay-home dad, but I am self-employed and I do run a company. So quite a busy little life. I've got lots of hobbies. I restore Volkswagens, like Beetles, camper vans. So I'm pretty busy, guys. Hi, Tracy. So I've been messing around this morning on my YouTube channel, and I managed to create a link so that you guys can go to my Instagram, my Elvis Instagram, my Elvis TikTok. I'm going to see if I can add my. It's also on Twitter X as well, but I haven't done that one because what it is for people that don't know my channel that well. Yes, I do a lot of live streams, but really the birth of my channel was my shorts and my videos all about Elvis's life. Lots of mini documentaries that needed a lot of editing. So it was short videos, short pictures, all edited together with some audio and me talking, and even with some written narrative. I did that for a couple of years, and I've posted over 4,000 videos. So you guys, if it's possible, check out the videos and the lives. I think quite a few of you do go to them. Let me just have a look at my comments a minute. And I think some of you, yeah. So Tracy, I think, yeah, you've been watching some of my videos because I've noticed a few of your comments coming in, Tracy. And I think the one you commented on was the one with Lee Majors. Is that right, Tracy? Am I getting this right? And Tracy commented, I believe Lee touched his TCB necklace and looked up to the heavens to recognize Elvis. He was a huge fan of Elvis and had a cameo role in one of his movies. What a gentleman. That's correct, Tracy. I made a video of this, and there's a touching moment like you just mentioned at the end that shows Lee Majors. I think I love Lee Majors. I think it's fantastic. Of course, we all fell in love with this $6 million man and The Fall Guy and other things that Lee Majors did. And yes, at the end of it, there's I think someone singing an Elvis song, and Elvis looks across, holds the necklace that Elvis gave him, and it's quite a touching moment in that video. So anyway, my point is, if for new people coming onto this channel, I don't just do live streams. Live streams have become the main focus of this channel because we have this new mission, which is where we are together, united, searching for the truth so that we can defend Elvis. That's where we all are now. And that, I mean, I've made so many mini documentaries with Elvis, with these shorts and these clips, that I feel that it's okay to concentrate on the lives because I've done so many videos. And if you go through them, they do literally cover all aspects of Elvis, not just Elvis, anything that touched Elvis. It could even be Muhammad Ali, it could be Neil Diamond, it could be the Beatles, could be James Brown, could be the army years, the girlfriends, the Memphis Mafia. That I literally covered every aspect I could fathom to do with Elvis in these short video clips and these short. You got them in shorts and you got them in wides. On TikTok, they tend to be the shorts. On Instagram, my Instagram channel has, some of the videos have had 50,000 views. My Instagram channel, if you go to it, there's one on it now. Let me just click on my Instagram. If I just go to the videos on my Instagram, if I can do it. Right,
following all Instagrammers under 10K. You want to get to 10K?
Let's just find it a minute. There's one I posted, I think only about 10 days ago, and it's had 55,000 views. Let's have a look. Is it going to let me go to it or what? Home. Come on. Where are we? So we've got... Oh, it keeps jumping to a different one. Don't know why that is. Let me just see if I can get to home. Here we go. Right. So we've got... I'll play it for you. It's Red West. And pure coincidence, I've been watching a Red West. Oh, yeah. They do pop up everywhere, don't they? Even my children, even my 7-year-old, but even my teenage kids, they come up to me. Oh, your shorts keep coming up on my Instagram or my TikTok. So, and my friends have seen your shorts. Yeah, or it'd be my wife. So this one with Red West and this one's called Red West Saves Elvis, and I only posted it about 10 days ago, and we're going to talk about Red West in a minute. Actually, I'm going to play it for you. It's they're only like a minute long. I think this one's a minute long. It could be a little bit longer. Let's just play it and see what happens.
He made more progress later on in the music industry. He had to be different. Well, he was the same way in high school, but nobody knew who Elvis was then. I just knew him casually. And I happened to walk in the bathroom one day, and the bullies, 3 guys two were holding him, and they were going to cut his hair. Yeah. Because we all had crew cuts, and his hair was back, long. Yeah. And we're just going to cut his hair, and I happened to walk in. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Oh, we're going to give him a haircut." I said, "It doesn't look like he wants the haircut." We're not going to hurt him. I said, no. If you cut his hair, you're going to cut my hair. And I had a crew cut, and I said, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, so we all know that story. He walks into the toilets at Hume's High, I'm pretty sure it was. And I think Red was the year above Elvis, wasn't it, at school? And then they're about to cut his hair because Elvis dressed differently and did his hair differently. A lot of them all had crew cuts in those days. And I think, luckily for Elvis, Vernon was Red West was in the right place at the right time and stopped him from these bullies. And I think even though after that, they didn't really see each other for a couple of years, but I think Elvis always remembered it. So, and then eventually one day they hooked up, didn't they? And then we know that Red West was touring with Elvis in the 55, going to these local shows with Elvis, and they just, I'll be honest with you, Red West is one of my favorite of the Memphis Mafia. He always has been. So to be involved in the tell-all book really upsets me because you see him differently. And this morning, a Red West, I'm going to just play it for you in a second, guys. But a Red West interview came up, I think, probably about 10 years ago. And there's a president of the UK Elvis Presley fan club who has also met Elvis and was one of the last people to meet Elvis. I haven't got his name off the top of my head, but and I watched this interview. It was like an hour long, and I thought, actually, I'll show you just in case you guys want to watch it. So let me just show you where I found it is, it's called I John 1977. So let me just see if his name comes up. Red West interview at Mablethorpe. That's all it says. But let me just show you. So I found it here. I know it's blurry, guys. I don't know if you can see. I'll read it out to you anyway. So the actual, if you want to write it down, I don't know if you've got a pen. It's called I John 1977. I John 1977. And it's an interview from, looking at this, 1999 with Red West on the 3rd of November. And I wanted to watch it because today I'm going to try and do some different bits to do with the Memphis Mafia, because I think part of what we're doing where we're trying to search for the truth is I'm trying to pick out the things that the Memphis Mafia said, good and bad. So pick out what was unfair to Elvis. And so I've started sort of concentrating on anything Memphis Mafia. I've done some Marty Lacker research as well, and we're going to read about Marty Lacker. But there was one particular bit that I recorded because I thought it was very telling. I just want to show you this guy that is the president of the UK fan club who actually met Elvis, and there's a video of him meeting Elvis. It's quite interesting. He's quite an interesting guy. He's obviously a very loyal fan. He had quite a following. I think he's passed away now. Just want to show you what he looks like, and then maybe one of you will know his name.
Over here. And whilst when they had their first son, Brent, in 1961, Red started seriously writing songs. Now, we know the songs that he wrote for Elvis Presley, which there were many, many of them.
So I know it's blurry, but you might get a feel for it, and it's right. I can't find. Let me just put Elvis fan club, Elvis UK fan club. I'll just see if it brings up his name. It's actually a really good video. I think it was a bit of a chance meeting. He had gone over to America with fans from the UK, never dreaming that he was actually going to meet Elvis, and Elvis met him. And they had quite a nice chat together. I'm just seeing if it comes up. And he was it was one of the last times that Elvis was filmed, and with this UK president, this fan club UK president. It's not here at the moment. I have done a video on it, but I did it a while back. Oh, look, there's one here. Let's have a look.
That's Presley.
So this is showing him. Oh, well, that's interesting. I've stumbled on this by accident, guys. And it's not going to be copyrighted because it's just a news feature. So I'm going to play a bit more of that. So, all right. So this has took me on a bit of a tangent. So that's the guy. I still need to get you his name. I will have a look now. As he says, he went over there, not expecting to meet Elvis. He was going to get presented with this award. And there he is being filmed with Elvis. And he says, the last time that Elvis was ever filmed. And you can find this clip on YouTube a bit clearer, not so blurry. I wasn't expecting him to go on and start talking about that he became a very, very close friend of Colonel Tom Parker. And you can tell that he's fond of Colonel Tom Parker. And even stayed at his house and spoke to him every day on the phone, even saying that he was a really nice guy. So because we're into this, I think I'm going to carry on going with it, and let's just see how it pans out, guys. So that's just reminded me of something. We've got a local guy, Emilio. She just mentioned him. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of him. He was the guy that was on, was it America's Got Talent? Or we call it X Factor, innit? His name, let me just get his last name. I actually know him. I know his father and his mother. Let me just show you him. Right, so this guy here, Emilio, I actually took his brother to his prom because his brother was friends with my brother's daughter. And I took him in my, I used to have quite a nice Jaguar car. And I took his brother. Do any of you guys recognize him? He's been in loads and loads of competitions. He's won loads of competitions. He's actually performing in the Playhouse in my town in Weston-super-Mare as we speak. And he's been around the world. He's won loads of competitions. He's like, let me just get a clearer picture of him. He's brilliant. He's very, very talented. Very talented. And he's the one where they used that special equipment that changed his face. Yeah, one more here. And he literally lives around the corner from me. Do any of you guys recognize him? And the name is Emilio Santoro. Emilio Santoro. He's, you know, when you go through his stuff, I can't really play his music because I'll just get copyrighted. But look, there's it. He does some great stuff there. He's doing the, we all know that, don't we? Where they sing to the puppet. So interesting. And in Weston-super-Mare. And he's had worldwide fame because of Elvis. And he, when I met his brother and I drove him to the prom, my brother was with me, my twin, and his brother was sat behind me in the Jaguar. It was a convertible Jaguar. And this is like 8 or 9 years ago, before he became famous. And he said to me, oh, his brother is obsessed with Elvis. And then I started saying, oh, I love Elvis. I love Elvis. And I was being the proud Elvis fan, which I've always been since I was tiny. And he was going, yeah, my brother likes to sing it at home. He dresses up like him. And I was, oh, that's interesting. I did not know that he was going to become world famous. He's a world famous ETA, whatever they call it. It's funny, isn't it, all these years later, how things turn out. But anyway, Tracy, yeah, so it's Todd. Todd, I wonder what his last, do you know his last name, Tracy? So let me just see a bit.
Graceland is, you've seen of the trade. You watched every clip that was over there.
I thought he had passed away, Todd, but it said this was 2 years ago. So actually, he might not have passed away. I wonder if it gives us Todd's last name. Let's have a look. Yeah, Todd Slaughter. Right. Todd Slaughter. Let me type him in. Sounds to me like he's had a very interesting life because he said he met the Beatles and many other famous people. Was it Jimi Hendrix? I wonder how he managed to do that, but let's have a look. Todd Slaughter, let's look at it. Todd Slaughter. Is that him? No, that doesn't look like him to me. I'll just put Todd Slaughter Elvis and we'll see if it comes up. All right, obituary. Let's have a look. So he has passed. Oh, no, actually, that doesn't look like him. No, let's get the right one. Todd Slaughter. I'll put Elvis in. I'll just type it in. I'm just trying to see if he's alive. Hi, Nadia. And my brother's... Oh, hi, brother, Andreas. My brother's called Andreas. He's just joined us. I was just saying, Andy, about Emilio, and that he's a local guy, and that he's playing at the Playhouse at the moment. So, any guys, if you want to say hello to my brother, he's just joined us with his channel. So I'm just seeing Todd Slaughter. I want to see if he's alive. Let's have a look. So, I can see his. Yeah, so I've seen his fan club's just come up. I wonder if I can join that. I think there's a chance he is alive, guys. Let's have a look. Todd Slaughter, the Colonel and me. All right, so he's written some books. I didn't know that. He did just say that he was very good friends, and there's quite a few other bits here that he's done. I'm going to have to go through that. That's interesting. And Tracy said that he's got his own YouTube channel, so I'll just type onto that. I'm probably a member of it anyway. I want to get this information in there, because if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. Let's just see if it comes up. Yeah, so he's coming up. Oh, there's the video we were talking about. Let's play it. Right, let me just... Okay, let's listen to this, because I think it's worth listening to.
At Las Vegas, seeming...
It's only short.
When it became apparent that Elvis Presley wasn't going to tour in this country, at least for the foreseeable future, we decided to take fans to the States, which we did. We used to take them to Las Vegas, see him in concert there, and as part of a holiday. But by the end of the 70s, Colonel Parker, Elvis Presley's manager, thought it would be a good idea for us to not go to Las Vegas, but to see Elvis Presley on tour. So we went to what turned out to be the very last two concerts that Elvis Presley performed. I went up to one of the news people and said, "Shoot a piece for me," and I gave him $100. And the film that you see is that piece of film. States, who said to me, "If you get the chance to look at Elvis Presley closely, do so, because our makeup person thinks that he's got about 6 months to live." And as it turned out, it was just a little more than 6 weeks. Before meeting Elvis Presley, I'd met everyone, the Beatles, the Stones, anybody that you can think of, but nothing really prepared me for meeting Elvis Presley. And I guess, what do you say to someone that you've admired for so many years? And it's impossible other than to just be a bit of an idiot, quite frankly.
That says it all, I think. And let's see if I can just quickly join. Let's see if it comes up. All right, so we've got another interview here. Let's have a look. All right, here we are. I found it.
Smith.
So it's Todd Slaughter's. I'll just subscribe to that. It says here, Todd Slaughter's Elvis Tales of the Unexpected. Have any of you heard of that? Todd Slaughter, Elvis Tales of the Unexpected. Todd Slaughter, Elvis Tales of the Unexpected, which actually I haven't heard of that. I'm just going to click on videos and just see when the last video he did was. It says a year ago. Going through it, there's 4 shorts. Let me just see when the last one was.
I'm Todd Slaughter, and welcome to my Elvis Tales of the Unexpected. Now, did you know that half the cheese sold in the United States was originally funded by Mafia money? Those cheese and dairy plants. Now, the American Mafia families, of course, are still major investors in entertainment. Proceeds from prostitution, narcotics, gay bars.
Right, I'm not going to go into it too much, but that doesn't give a date.
The Hollywood high school drug ring years ago, which was rather like what we have deep.
Let's see what he's got to say.
As county.
So he's talking about the TCB logo.
After, Paul met this rather tasty piece who had told Elvis the full story of what happened, which I won't go into.
All right, so he's not going to say it. Okay. Interesting. I'll put a notification bell on that. He's definitely a character. I'll say that, guys. So earlier today, because don't forget today's live stream is that we're going to try and look a bit into the Memphis Mafia. So I actually found one of the biggest questions that I think that the fans want to ask Red West is, why did you write that book? Why did you write the book? We know that fans are very upset about the tell-all book that was released in 1977, only months or weeks before he died. We know that Elvis was devastated. We also know that there was a conversation between Red West and Elvis about the book. Elvis actually was quite forgiving, and Red West sort of tried to sort of explain his way out of it. But the truth is, we know damn well, guys, that that book being released was very hurtful to Elvis and really seriously affected his image and legacy. And my personal opinion is that that book that was written by the 3 Memphis Mafia members was, in my opinion, it was a very unfair thing to do, because they were his close friends. So he did feel betrayed. That has rubbed off to the fans. The fans have never been happy that that book was released, because it really went into very graphic detail about Elvis's life in a very negative way. I know that there's good things in the book as well. This book has actually become a collector's item. I've been looking it up. It's like £100 to buy now, guys. But in this interview that I was watching this morning, they're all asking him very nice questions. They're all sort of saying to him, oh, you know, what's it like being with Elvis? What was he like? But then eventually a woman gets up and says, why did you write that book? And if you made any profit from the book, it should have gone to charity. So he is a bit taken aback that someone has asked this question, and he actually gets a little bit annoyed. So I quickly just recorded that section. I thought, it's not very clear. I'm going to play it you.
You were saying earlier that you always considered yourself as one of Elvis's closest friends. This is a sort of two-part question. If that were the case, I think had it been one of my friends, I wouldn't have felt that I wanted to write a book like that and make it public. And also, I think you've been quoted as saying that you did it along the lines to help Elvis and make him aware. If that is the case, if you just did it to help him, would it be fair to say that any money made from the book you donated to charity?
No, I gave it to myself when I was broke. No, I wrote it for money. Is that what you want to hear? I wrote it for money and to try to help him. You're going to dwell on this goddamn thing. I'm sorry you feel that way. But I love the man very much. You don't know what I went through trying to keep him away from this. Yes, you got your opinion about me writing the book. Okay, well, I've told you my side of it. If you can't accept that, then I'm sorry. But yeah, I wrote the book to try to save it.
So, when I watched that, I was a bit taken aback. I'm not sure how clear that comes across to you, but she basically is annoyed with him for releasing the book, and that the fact that he should have given the money to charity if it was only to help him that he wrote it. But he clearly jumps up and says, yeah, I wrote it for money. I also wrote it to help him. And if that bothers you, that's your problem. That's what he says, and he repeats it. And he even ends that little section by going, yeah, I wrote it for money. Yeah. But I was just trying to help him. Yeah. So we see, how can I say this? I think that very short clip there, he said, that is an hour-long section of questions. And it's all the way through it. Everyone's sort of being very nicey. But then we get to the main question, really, that I think upset fans want to hear the answer to. And he jumps up. You suddenly see a different Red West. You don't see the friendly, charming, funny Red West. You see an angry Red West who blatantly admits that he wrote that book for money. Because if you look at the interviews of Red West, when this book was released, and there's a few, and you've got reporters asking, why are you writing this book? And they all sit there saying, look, the drugs took him. The drugs took him. We're trying to help him. Yeah, they're all saying it. Yeah, this is an old interview back in 77. Yeah, and I'm not I don't think Elvis had actually died at the point of that interview, and you'll find it on YouTube, guys. So they're there trying to make excuses for writing this book. Now, I've always thought that they were angry and bitter. They were upset over the way Vernon had sacked them. There was problems with lawsuits. Vernon thought they were being too heavy-handed with the fans, and there was serious money problems at Gracelands with Elvis, etc. So they sat there in that interview, and we'll go through that. And they basically said, look, we're just trying to help Elvis, get him off the drugs, yeah? But actually, that little clip I've just shown you, I'm going to play the beginning of it again, clearly says, yeah, I made it for money. Yeah, I made it for money. So that's the first time I've seen Red West just clearly admit, yeah, I made it for money. And I tell you now, if I was famous and my friends did a tell-all book for money, I'd be very angry, very upset. So let's just watch it again.
Give me titles and
Let's go to the beginning. Right.
Give me titles and go write it. So that's how that happened.
You were saying earlier that you always considered yourself as one of Elvis's closest friends. This is a sort of two-part question. If that were the case, I think had it been one of my friends, I would have felt that I wanted to write a book like that and make it public. And also, I think you've been quoted saying that you did it on lines to help Elvis and make him aware. If that is the case, if you just did it to help him, would it be fair to say that any money made from the book you donated to charity?
No, I gave it to myself when I was broke. No, I wrote it for money. Is that what you want to hear? I wrote it for money to try to help him. You're going to dwell on this goddamn thing. I'm sorry you feel that way. But I love the man very much. You don't know what I went through trying to keep him away from this. Yes, you got your opinion about me writing a book. Okay, well, I've told you my side of it. If you can't accept that, then I'm sorry. But yeah, I wrote the book to try to save it. And I wrote that.
Yeah. So I don't like that, guys. In my opinion, I think I'm entitled to an opinion on YouTube. He gets angry. He shows quite a nasty side to himself, which is a shame because I really like Red West's personality. I've seen Red West in many things. So the fact that he clearly admits there, yeah, I made it for money. Yeah, I made it for money. If you don't like that, that's your opinion. But I also wanted to help him. I don't like it. I don't like it. He's not in my good books. And now remember, Red West, I'm going to try and do this in a nice way so we're not being hateful. But the truth is, Red West was very kind to Elvis and stopped the bullies from cutting his hair. So the basis of their friendship came from a really good place. I honestly believe that Red West truly loved Elvis and admired him, and right until the day he died, I honestly do believe that Red West thought Elvis was the most amazing person that ever lived. I know that. I definitely think Red West loved Elvis. But I will say this. Greed got in the way. There was too much personal feelings happening when it come to do with money and Elvis's success. And if you go later on into this interview, one of the people in the audience asks Red West, did you get jealous? No, actually, it was Todd. Todd, at the beginning of that interview, says to Red West, did you get jealous of Elvis because of all this attention he got and all the talent that he had and the fact everything was about Elvis? And he said, yeah. He admitted it. He said yes. Now, come on, guys. See, I understand envy where you look at other people and you think, oh, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that. Oh, I'd love to have a car or a bigger house. I get that. We're all human. We all get that. But it's always done in a nice, for me, when I see other people that are doing well, I can look at other things and go, oh, that would be nice if I could have that. But never jealousy, never, oh, that ain't fair. That's not fair. I should be getting some of that. Never with me. Yeah. And I think the way that he answers the question when the guy says, look, were you jealous of Elvis because he was getting all the attention? I don't like the way Red West answers that question. I think, and I'm a businessman, guys, so I know how it feels when you have problems employing friends. It can be that there is it can get complicated. But anyway, going back to Red West, he meets him. I think at first, the first couple of years, they didn't really hardly speak, but eventually they become friends again, and Red West helps him going to all the local gigs, and they bond and become really good friends. And Elvis never forgot that Red West helped him that day in Humes High in the toilets from being bullied, basically. So I actually think they had a lovely friendship. And for years and years, and I think the life that Red West had because of Elvis, whilst Elvis was alive before the book, was amazing. And we know that Red West went on to do many amazing things. He was a very good songwriter. He was in quite a few movies, and many doors opened for Red West. Elvis had a fantastic life because of, Red West had a fantastic life because of Elvis. So personally, guys, I don't think Red West should have ever done anything against Elvis, because I do see it as a betrayal, a complete betrayal, and you can't undo it. When you've gone down the road of betraying Elvis, who was supposedly your best friend that you love, there's no turning back. You can't undo it. This is just an opinion. Right, I'm going to start reading some of your comments. So Nadia, hi Nadia. You've got the TLC necklace from Lowell Hayes. Wish it was solid gold since the color is coming off. And Lowell Hayes, aren't they the ones that made it originally? Nadia, please tell me. Tracy. Todd's video on the origins of the TCB logo is very interesting. Highlights another mistruth of Priscilla, a must watch. And I've seen the video of Priscilla saying that her and Elvis designed the TCB logo together. And wasn't she sat on an aeroplane and they drew it out? Priscilla said it was her idea and Elvis liked it and designed it on the plane. Yeah. So I don't know if that's true or not. I actually don't know. I haven't watched the video. I haven't watched Todd Slaughter's video of the origins of the TCB logo, but I will look it up. Red has a hair trigger temper. That lady was very honest and brave. Yeah. And it's funny because you're right. People with red hair tend to have fiery personalities. I think. They all said that Vernon didn't pay them what Elvis wanted them to have. Yeah, we know the story that Vernon, out of the blue, decided that some of them had to go. But does that mean it was okay to go and write that book? I don't think so. Come on, if you're a true friend, you don't betray your friends. True friends don't do that. I had a friend pass away about a year ago, and there was no betrayal. We used to fall out. We used to argue quite a lot, but he never betrayed me. Yeah. Let's have a look. Tracy, I don't believe he loved Elvis. I think he liked him, but not love. He also loved the lifestyle, being around Elvis afforded, and the doors that opened. He was very envious of Elvis. Well, I agree he was envious. I agree he loved the lifestyle. But I still think he did love him, because I think that Red had a lot of regrets for the way he treated Elvis after Elvis had passed. And he had to carry that with him to the day he died, didn't he? So, money, it brings out a side of people that is not very nice sometimes. Did Elvis sing one of Red? Yeah, Separate Ways. But I think I love Separate Ways. It's one of my favorite songs. It's a brilliant song. No, Red West could write some good songs. He could. And he wrote more than one song, didn't he? And I think he wrote songs for other people as well. He wasn't a terrible actor. He could act. I watched him in a film on, I think it was on Netflix, called Safe Haven, and he plays the father of someone that's being abused by their husband, and it was a good film. He only plays a small part. He's just the father, but he has got a likable side to him, Rep West. You do warm to him, but when I see him lose his temper a bit there with the person who's just asking that question, I don't like it. But of course that question was going to get asked, because this was over an hour-long interview. Of course people were going to ask him questions that he wasn't going to like. That's the whole point of these personal appearances. You know, you're going to get asked questions by the audience or by the interviewer that you don't like. So anyway, so someone's at the door. 1 second. Okay, sorted. So I've titled, I think it's going to come up in a second. Felina. Hi, Felina. Is Felina on? Is she? Oh, there she is. Hello. Hi, Felina. How you going? Good morning to you. So I have to welcome everyone. So in case you haven't subscribed, what it is, guys, the channel, let's have a look. Let me check it out. This channel you're on now, my channel, has got 22,996 subscribers. So we're only 4 subscribers away from hitting 23,000. So if any of you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Let's get it to 23,000 and press the notification bell because I'd like to see it hit 23,000. And if you're coming on later to watch it, because a lot of you will watch this later when you wake up, good morning to you. Please subscribe. Let's get this past the 23,000. Thank you so much, guys. Really means a lot. And as I always say, if you want to join, just click the join button. Or if you want to buy me a coffee, buy me a coffee. There's a buy me a coffee button as well, I think. Right, what was we doing? Right, so yes, I've been messing around with the logo. So, and the name, because we're trying to get a name and a logo for the channel that is for all of us. So this is just me messing around, but at the moment, because I'm trying to get the name so it's shorter. So at the moment, I just have kept it very simple. Elvis Presley, Search for the Truth. I have thrown in a bit of a Priscilla picture there because I do think a big part of what we're searching for does involve Priscilla. So this is just one. So we've got Elvis Presley fans, Search for the Truth. But the actual main, let's have a look. The actual main, let me try and get it bigger. The main banner that I thought I could use for now, it's pretty basic, guys. I'm not artistic, is that. So if you look got Elvis Presley fans, search for the truth. And then I found that the words truth in a scroll. And I thought that'll do for now. It is temporary. It's not permanent. But I think that's going to probably be the new name. I've definitely wanted in the title the word fans, because we're doing this together. Yeah. And then I wanted search for the truth because it just rings right with me. Now, I do like the United. Let me just look at how I've written it. I do like the words united to defend. United to defend. But I think the way we're going to, I don't think I'll put that in as part of the name, but I think I may add it almost like, like just, you know what I'm saying anyway. Somehow it will be in there. And so you guys have been messaging me different ideas for the name. So I've been taking pictures of some of these messages. So I'm just going to go through some of the messages that I've been. I find if I don't do a screenshot of the messages, I just lose them. So because the way you read the messages on YouTube sometimes can be a bit complicated. Let me just read some of these comments. It's not love to publicly shame his friend. What if Elvis had not died? What would the repercussions have been on his character in the public eye? No, Tracy, I'm with you. Yeah. To try and cut a long story short, I've had a long life in business. Started very young with my twin brother when I was 19, and me and my brother were very poor. We started with nothing. We sold our cars to get into business. So what do you do when you first go into business? You employ your friends. We were just kids, and we had problems. Yeah, because when you employ friends, unfortunately, money was a problem. And me and my brother were successful very quickly. We were very lucky, but also very hardworking. So we did earn our success. I'm talking way back now here in the late 80s, 1989. And we had problems employing friends. Now, these were very close friends. These were people that we'd grown up with. So what I'm saying to you, Tracy, is that money can make people angry and bitter, and it drowns out the love. This is what I'm saying about Red West. That in the end, the emotions and the anger, the bitterness, the resentment, and the greed for money, drowns everything out, and makes people can be bitter their whole lives. We know this, don't we? And I personally think that Red and a few of the other Memphis Mafia members just couldn't let it go. And I don't think it was until they got much older, until they started having some quite serious regrets for what they had done. I personally do think that if Red West could change things, he would not have written that book. This is just my opinion. Just all it is. Thanks, Seol. Let's have a look. If Elvis had lived, that bold of Red could have destroyed him. How stressful for Elvis, that book, you mean? How stressful for Elvis he had received a copy prior to the release. How betrayed him. How he must have felt betrayed. I agree. There's no way that book should have been written. And someone messaged me the other day saying, Elvis had forgiven them all. No. I listened to the conversation with Red West and Elvis was a real gentleman. He basically said, you got to do what you got to do. And he quoted a verb from a film. I think it was a failure to communicate. It was in that film, wasn't it? What was the film? I'm trying to remember the film that it came from. And Elvis was trying to be fair and say, look, I understand, you know, from your point of view. And we failed to communicate. And I thought Elvis was a real gentleman in that phone call. And in it, he also mentions that he felt railroaded into this wedding with Priscilla that came like that out of nowhere. It just, before he knew it, he was married. So you can tell that Elvis had serious issues on whether or not he should have got married. So, but I will always say this, that a true friend that literally would die for you, and we don't get many of those, do we, would not have written that book. They would have worked out their differences. Maybe they would have fallen out for a while, gone their separate ways for a while. But eventually, true friends come back together and sort their differences out. And because Elvis was so famous, to write a book that seriously tarnished his image. Now, don't forget, in 1977, Elvis Presley having a problem with prescribed medication, taking too many tablets, was actually not that well known. It was a bit of a secret. I mean, I think the tabloids started picking up on things because he was having these unexpected visits to the hospitals, but it wasn't very well known. Now, the minute that book was released, it was everywhere. It was the norm. Elvis was then known as a druggie from the moment that book was released, and I don't like it. Do not like it. Let's have a look. So see it. Reading on the George Jones, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, drugs were the way of life for all of them. Grueling travel, little sleep, unhealthy food. Yeah, it was. Come on, all the celebrities, many celebrities, that's how they lived. That was the lifestyle. Very blatant jealousy from all three of them to write the book, and bitterness, and apparent they had backpedaled when the fans turned on them. Crime. Yeah, I agree. Tracy, I fully agree with what you just said. There was definitely blatant jealousy and bitterness. And yes, in some interviews, they're trying to get the fans on side, but it's too late because the damage is done. I always come back to the fact that he was so ill. He was seriously ill. So he needed a lot of the medication. Yeah, it was Cool Hand Luke. That's it. Thanks, Cat Girl. What we have here is a failure to communicate. What a brilliant film. But anyway, so I will always say they should not have written that book, and I'm against friends treating people like that. I don't care if they're famous or not. And come on, most of the time he needed the meds, but it did. I do think the last sort of 3 years, it all went pear-shaped. It all became too much. So I was going to just try and flick over some of these comments because I've been saying that I'm going to go through the comments for a few days now, and I keep we get distracted by different topics. So I'm just going to read them and see what happens. So from Nard Morning. Priscilla is definitely an unreliable source about Elvis. She even misinformed the reader about his first meeting with Tom Jones. And then Chloe says, Priscilla wanted an open relationship with Mike Stone. Does anyone know anything about that? Is that true? Right, Tracy. Elvis is the only one highlighted. Why do they pick on Elvis so much? Cat Girl. Cat Girl, tell me your name. I've forgotten your name. Right. How could right, let me just keep going through these comments. Let's just get to them. So people have been sending me different names. One, Susan Bloor says, Elvis fans united to defend Elvis in search of the truth, which is great. I really like that. If Susan, if you watch this later, but it's so long. It's hard to get the message that we want together, us, you and me, together. We're trying to create this channel that it's very obvious that we're here to defend Elvis's legacy and image against anyone who's bad-mouthing him, yeah, or writing bad things about him, or posting videos that are unfair to him. But how do we get a short title and a short logo that represents that? So Elvis fans united to defend Elvis in the search for the truth is great, but it's too long. Let's keep going. Let's think. Right. So they've got a comment here from Nad Mori. Priscilla is definitely an unreliable source about Elvis. She seems even misinformed. The reader about his first meeting with Tom Jones. It was in Hawaii in 1968 that they met. Tom Jones. Elvis became very fond of him. She had already met Tom Jones with Elvis in Vegas in April 1968. So the month before. This Vegas concert was so important in Elvis's career because Elvis said to Tom that it had made him want to come back to Vegas. Yeah, so we know about that Elvis went and watched Tom Jones and it reignited a flame in him and it made him go, right, I want to do this, which led to him committing to the Vegas comeback. Let's have a look. And of course, Elvis had met Tom Jones several years before on September the 30th, 1965, at Elvis's request. Tom Jones was very surprised when Elvis sang one of Tom's songs when they first met, and we know about that. Elvis was filming, he was doing a clip in a helicopter, and the song he sang, which I think was in the charts at the time, With These Hands. And Tom Jones just couldn't believe that Elvis was singing his song and walking towards him. Obviously, Tom Jones had very overnight stardom. He comes from the humble country of Wales, which is half an hour from me. And then before he knows it, he's best friends with Elvis. And we know that the song It's Not Unusual was a massive hit in America, wasn't it? And around the world. We'll never know what would have happened. Elvis did not choose to trust his wife instead of his friends who had warned him. Just check up there. Let's have a look. Rather than have title indicate a war or battle, just be factual. Here's the truth about Elvis. Yeah, it's a difficult one because don't forget, I know that we're here together like warriors to stand up for Elvis. But we also are an Elvis channel that, if you go to my videos and my shorts, that is trying to tell the story of Elvis as well. So that's why I have to have the words Elvis Presley have to be in the title, because we are an Elvis Presley channel. I don't know if many of you have watched many of my shorts and videos, but they're like mini documentaries about his whole life. Then it's not a music channel. My channel doesn't post lots of music because it gets copyrighted. So it's very much a storytelling channel, but in short clips, because I think sometimes people just want to see a shortened version of a long story. I think the problem with the very long stories, which we do enjoy with a cup of coffee, I think a lot of people click off them. So I have found with my shorts that, like, some of them have, on TikTok, some of my shorts had 1.5 million views. Even on my channel here, I think my biggest watched short was 760,000 views. And I do think that's partly to do with the fact that they were shorts. They were just a minute long. You could quickly watch them, learn something about Elvis, and then move to the next clip. And I didn't just do it as shorts. I did it as little mini wides as well, so you can watch it on a TV screen. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm very proud of my little clips. And each clip, even though these clips were only a minute long, they blooming took about 4 hours each to make, because I'm not very good at editing. So it was a tough challenge for me, but I was addicted to making them. Right, let's look at the next bit. So Cheryl, she admitted to eating very little they're talking about when she was pregnant. Cheryl Spencer says she also admitted to eating very little as not to gain weight. I believe there are stories that she was continuing to ride horses while pregnant and supposedly fell off while pregnant. He was with Barbara Lee, who was a mother, so the narrative is false. And I think that comment is saying, because obviously one of the things that was said about Elvis is that he wouldn't sleep with Priscilla because she'd had a baby, and that Elvis wouldn't sleep with a woman that had had a baby, which I think is complete rubbish. So Cheryl is just mentions Barbara Lee. And I have had many of you say that Priscilla didn't really want to have a baby. She didn't want it. And that at one point she had asked for a divorce. I'm sorry. At one point, her and Elvis discussed her having an abortion, and Elvis was not having it. So again, I can't, this isn't fact. This is just hearsay. This is coming from comments. I can't prove it. I'm not even saying that I actually think that's true. You guys can comment on that. Elvis United Truth Searchers, but we got to get the Presley bit in. Elvis United Truth Searchers. I still prefer Search for the Truth. I do. But the United bit, we've got to find a way of doing that. So, yeah, I love Tom Jones. But, guys, there's rumours. Tom Jones and Priscilla. Just rumours, not facts. And from comments that I received from you guys, the title, you know, with Tom Jones and Priscilla, they may have become very friendly, but this is just hearsay from comments from you. So my brother, Andreas, he thinks it's a good name. I like it. I like it. I think I could tweak the logo a bit. So Naja, she didn't want him to have a baby so early on in the marriage. And I keep reading this, Nadia, that don't forget, let's face it, she was 22, yeah? So it's a very young age to have a baby, but not in the 60s. In the 60s, having a baby at that age is quite normal. So the fans, from the comments I'm receiving, do give the impression that Priscilla really wanted to enjoy being with Elvis and wanted to be a part of his life, going to the movie sets, and then eventually going to the tours. And she knew that by having a baby, by having Lisa Marie, that she would be stuck at whichever house they were in. So obviously they stayed at different houses. So she felt, from the comments I'm receiving, this is the information I'm getting, she felt getting pregnant and having a baby that she wouldn't be with Elvis, that he'd always be away. And if that is true, she has a good point. She has a good point. So, right, so we've got another long comment here. So this is Christine Kingston. Now, I really like Christine, and her comments are quite thought through and, can I say it, and make you think. So I'm going to read this comment. It's likely that Tom slept with Priscilla. He slept with 250 women a year. Could be after Elvis died. Right. Well, Felina, Felina, I really like your comments. And Felina's got a great channel, by the way, guys. But I definitely do not think that Elvis slept with 250 women a year. Sorry, that cracks me up. Right. Look, if you really start learning about Elvis, I know that we all think that Elvis was completely obsessed with finding a different woman every week. But it isn't true, guys. It isn't true. We do know that Elvis would have affairs with some of his right, I was gonna say. Sorry, Felina, I'm sorry. I was just gonna stick up for Elvis then. I actually think a lot of the relationships that Elvis had with women, there wasn't even sex involved. I think he was such a deep person, such an intelligent person. He just loved women's company, and he loved just spending time with them and getting to know them and reading with them and having fun with them. But right, Felina, I love your name, by the way, Felina. You've got a lovely name. Tom Jones. I haven't done loads of research into Tom Jones. It's rumoured. We know he was married and he was with his wife for like 50 years. And unfortunately, I think she did die from cancer. And he was very grief-stricken. And he moved back away. He moved out of LA back to England because he was so upset and sold his house in LA because he wanted just to come back to England and get back to his roots because he was so upset when his wife passed. But do I think Tom Jones slept with 250 women a year? I doubt it. I doubt it. Again, this is just what people say, isn't it? It's just someone gets an image. Do I think Tom Jones slept with lots of women? He probably did, but not 250 a year. I just think the image becomes more than the truth, and the hearsay and the word of mouth gets exaggerated because it's quite similar to what they say about Elvis. I just don't believe these people was constantly having sex every day. Come on, you get bored. You would get bored if you were having sex every day. I don't care how beautiful the women are. You get bored, guys. After a year, you've like, enough's enough. I'd rather go and have a cup of tea. Tom Jones has a radar on women. You think he'd risk the venom that goes with the Pris thing? Yeah, I know, Felina. I do, Felina. Oh my, that's a different woman every week, every night. Yeah. Look, I know us men can be naughty when we're single, but come on. We're not Superman. It was said that it was his manager's idea to tell the public that he wasn't married or his career would have taken off. Is it possible that Tom Jones made that up? I don't know, but isn't it just pretty standard? This happened with the Beatles as well, where they tried to hide that John Lennon was married. Isn't it pretty standard? They fear that the people that are in charge of these famous bands and singers generally like to make it out that they're single because they think that it's better with the fans. So, but come on, John Lennon being married didn't make any difference in the end, did it? And even Elvis, once he got married, he was still hounded by the ladies. Right, so I'm going to read this comment. It's Christine Kingston. So, sorry, Louis, but I must weigh in once regarding Elvis's views on making love to Priscilla after she had had Lisa Marie Presley. It's no secret that Elvis wanted many children. Since he didn't want Lisa to be an only child, Priscilla reports that she was devastated when realizing that she was pregnant. Other in the circle speak of her unwillingness to nurture and protect the baby as she carried it. She even goes so far to say that she and Elvis considered abortion and that while she was pregnant, Elvis suggested a separation. Even as I was buying into Priscilla, this story smacked of misrepresentation. So you guys know that the book was written by Priscilla, and because of that, we have about this book and how much truth is in the book. Now, I don't know what it is or isn't. This is all opinion based. So she's saying, so she's sort of referring to the book, yeah. So she even goes as far to say that she and Elvis considered abortion. That's why she was pregnant. Elvis suggested a separation. Even as I was buying into Priscilla, this story smacked of misrepresentation. Knowing what I know now, I believe the narrative is more likely this. Now, this is Christine's words. Priscilla became pregnant in order to thwart the Anne Margaret threat. Well, if I've got my dates right, this can't be right because I'm pretty sure that the Anne Margaret affair was 1964. Is that correct? Please, Tracy, you'll know. So I got a feeling the Anne Margaret thing was a couple of years before the pregnancy. So if that's correct, I can't agree with that. But I'll keep reading. So then it says, once married, she wanted nothing to do with the baby she carried. And obviously, I can't agree with that. But you guys have commented to me, you fans have said, you get the impression that Priscilla didn't really want to have a baby. Elvis would not agree to an abortion. Again, this is just hearsay, but I think us as Elvis fans would say that Elvis no way would have allowed Priscilla to abort that baby. I truly believe that. Yeah. As Elvis was going about telling everyone that he was going to be a proud father, I believe that, Priscilla was risking the pregnancy at every turn. Priscilla claims Elvis asked for a separation. Again, that's been brought up in the Priscilla movie, that you know how I feel about the Priscilla movie. That should never have been made. I am very upset that film was made. It was so unfair on Lisa Marie. And even after Lisa Marie had passed, for Priscilla to go around promoting that film around the world, knowing that her dead daughter didn't want it made, is just wrong. I will loud and proud say that. If your kid has just died and you knew your kid did not want a film made that was about her life, her father's life, her mother's life, there's no way that Priscilla should have been going around the world promoting that film. I think it's one of the worst things that Priscilla has done to Lisa Marie and to the fans. Priscilla claimed Elvis asked for a separation. Now, we don't know the truth behind that. We know that it was in the Priscilla film. For me, it seems a bit unbelievable that Elvis asked for a separation when she was pregnant. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And usually to me, if something doesn't make sense, it's probably a lie. Yeah? In my opinion. It's not a fact. Everything I'm saying now, guys, is not fact. It's just opinions. So also, right. After Lisa was born, Priscilla wanted nothing to do with a man who wanted many more children. Again, this is Christine's opinion. But now, do I think Priscilla wanted more children with Elvis? Do you know what? That's a very good question. I've never asked myself that. I think her actions, yeah, because we know that after Lisa Marie was born, we've proved from the book, in her own words, we have proved that she had an affair a few months after the baby was born. And now my brother's watching. I want to show him. And this was helped by Nadia and Tracy, that we proved, because I'm trying to be extra careful now on the things that we're discussing, that we're not saying anything that is libelous, that can get us in trouble. But together on this channel, we proved that Priscilla admitted that she had an affair with a guy who owned the dance studio and was the dance instructor in 1968, only months after Lisa Marie was born. And I just want to read this so Andreas, my brother, who does keep an eye on what I do, I just want to say to you that together, us Elvis fans on this channel, we have proved, because Priscilla said it in her own words, in this book, chapter 35, page 262, I had a brief affair and decided to end it. I had a brief affair and decided to end it. So we know that she had this affair in 1968, only 1 year after the wedding. Come on, to have an affair 1 year after a wedding is seriously wrong. Come on, seriously wrong. Yeah. And I believe, me, Louis, yeah, as a fan, I believe that Elvis, around leading up to the engagement, so 66-ish, early 67. Didn't they get married in May? Is that right? Was it May the 1st? You put me right, guys. I believe Elvis was being quite a good boy in 66, 67. And I think he was being quite a good boy after they got married, and whilst Priscilla was pregnant, and after the birth of the baby. I think Elvis was being very loyal. I can't say 100%. I think he was. Yeah, May the 1st. Thanks, Felina. But I've also said, because I'm trying to be fair to Priscilla, so I don't sound too biased, I do think that 63, 64, and 65, I do think in those 3 years that Elvis was being unfaithful. I believe that. Yeah. And I think that would have been very cruel on Priscilla. But we go a step further, guys. You guys have told me that she did have an affair with a singer within these 3 years. So 63, 64, 65. A coloured singer. I forget his name. I did take a picture of him. Was it Tracy? Was it you that told me? Let me just see if his picture comes up. I did look him up. A great singer. Right. Let me just see if his picture comes up. Tracy, do you remember who the guy is? Let me just see. Usually, if you guys say an interesting fact to me, I'll usually take a picture of it. I did look him up. I think he was one of the rock and roll singers in the 60s. No, it's not coming up. Tell me, Tracy, who was the guy that supposedly, yeah, that you guys had said to me that he had an affair with Priscilla in around 64, 65? Who was it? Please tell me. So let's go back to the messages. So let me just read your comments. I agree. I don't believe Elvis asked for a separation. Another one of her stories to portray him as callous and unfeeling. And if that was the case, he would have discussed it with some of his friends. Yeah, it's true, Tracy. So Lisa Marie was born 9 months to the day. Yeah, I've read that. Who said, thanks, Felina, who said that Priscilla had this affair with the singer Tracy. Yeah, Tracy, who was it? Do you remember? Right. The media would have crucified Elvis if he had separated from her while she was pregnant. She's so malicious of her to put that unverified statement in the book, and it made him look bad. I agree, Tracy. I agree, and it was in the movie as well. And we don't even know if it's true, do we? We don't even know it's true. This is just something that Priscilla has done. Yes, was it Lil? Yes. Let me look him up, Tracy. So let me just get him up, and then we'll talk about that just briefly. So let me just write. All right. So did he sing "Tears on My Pillow"? Is that him? Let's go for images. So I've got, here we go. So Little Anthony. So I'm going to take a picture of this because I want to do some research into this, because I want to know if there's any truth to that rumor. So the reason I mention that is because when I'm trying to break down the years, so bit by bit, I'm trying to work out a timeline in my head from the time that Elvis comes back to America in 1960. Obviously, then you've got Priscilla comes and lives in one of the homes. I don't know if it was Graceland or if it was one of the other homes around 63 when she was just about to turn 18. So I'm trying to find a timeline of when was Priscilla actually Elvis's girlfriend. You guys, you tell me, when do you think Elvis and Priscilla actually became boyfriend and girlfriend, where in a way where Elvis needed to be faithful? Now, to me, I think it's around 63. I also think that Elvis did have a double life with the Memphis Mafia when they would go off and make these films. And I think it was around 63, 64 with the Anne Margaret affair. But obviously he was seeing other co-stars as well. We don't know if he was sleeping with them. We just know that he would have these very close friendships with them. And what I'm trying to work out is, at what point should have Elvis been faithful to Priscilla? So let's just, for hearsay, let's say 63. So to me, I'm trying to find out, with the help of you guys, in 63, 64, 65, and even 66, was Priscilla faithful? Was Elvis faithful? I think probably quite obvious that Elvis was not faithful. So I would say that if Priscilla was faithful, and she may not have been, because we're looking at this, this is just opinions, hearsay, not fact. This is coming from comments from the subscribers on this channel, their opinions. I'm not saying that any of this is truth, but if Priscilla allegedly had an affair with little Anthony, and so she was being unfaithful, and Elvis was being unfaithful to people like Anne Margaret and Juliet Prowse, etc. Well, Juliet Prowse is earlier on in it, because they weren't really a couple then. But anyway, so let's go forward, yeah? So what I'm trying to say is, was Priscilla and Elvis, were they being unfaithful to each other in 63, 64, 65, maybe 66? And I'd love to know that from your comments and your research, guys. So help me on that. So if any of you are coming on later and watching this live stream, if you don't mind, please can you research? And I will as well. If anything happened between 1963 and 1966 on unfaithfulness with either Elvis or Priscilla, but I'm more interested in Priscilla, and I'll tell you why, because we know Elvis was unfaithful in those years. Okay, let's just read some of these comments. Again, most of Elvis' contemporaries went through women like paper towels. 2, 3, 4 wives. It's hard lifestyle for couples, families. They were shaggers, but critics pick on Elvis. That's a good point. I agree. If you're famous and you've got loads of money and you're getting loads of attention and you're worshipped, and the women are swooning over you, and they're drop dead gorgeous, they're really beautiful, throwing themselves at you, and you've had a few drinks, yeah, and you're away from home. Come on, guys. Most men are weak to temptation. Most men, but not all men. All right, Cat Girl, you've heard it about Cat Girl. Tell me your name. I keep forgetting your name. Yeah, so yeah, I've never heard that, so I'm definitely going to research the little Anthony thing. So, Sio, that's what sucks. Please can make up a conversation that would have been just between her and Elvis. Prissy can make up. Right, I got you. So if he had time to go out partying and meeting little Anthony, she must have not been so bored and isolated. That Grace, true, but I want to prove it, Nadia. I want to know it happened. Yeah, and in the same way as that we found this, we need that, because otherwise we're just being nasty, aren't we? If we talk about stuff that didn't actually happen, that we in no way can we prove it, at least an interview, or maybe it's been written down somewhere, at least something, then when we say it, we have something to give it a bit of credibility. We do need that. And I want that for this channel. I want what we're saying to have some kind of proof that it may be fact. Yeah. Let's have a look. So let's have a look. So Nadia, so if right, okay, no, Wicked Felina, could be that Elvis wanted to move to Memphis to get to know her before they were serious. Yes, Felina, I agree with that. I agree. I personally don't think Elvis was fully committed to Priscilla. I think he definitely had long-term aspirations, that there's a possibility that she could be this perfect wife that he dreamed of, because he thought she was very sweet and innocent and very, very beautiful, which she was. Yeah. I'm not saying she was sweet and innocent, because we know, guys, that this book, which I haven't read, I've stopped reading at the moment until we can work out a way where we can review it. has a completely different storyline, because we know in this book there's many things being said we can't prove are true. And all I can say to you guys is read this book so that you get a feel for what Suzanne Finstad, the author, and all her witnesses thought Priscilla was up to. And just to give you a general overview on this book, they think the witnesses in this book and the author of this book feel that there was a plan with Priscilla and Priscilla's mother and Cary Grant, the guy who introduced Priscilla to Elvis, to get to meet Elvis and get to America to live with Elvis. There was a plan. Yeah. Now, we don't know if this is true, guys, but Suzanne Finstad does say that she did a lie detector with all her witnesses. So you guys and anyone that's coming onto this channel and watching this channel, you're going to have to make your own mind up. But one thing I do think, guys, is that this book is very much from the point of view of Priscilla and is not it's not factual. It's not history. Not everything in this book has been backed up with proof. So this is Priscilla's version of events, which I think are not accurate, in my opinion. I can't say it as a fact. I can only say it as an opinion. I can also say that you guys, as fans of Elvis on this channel and many other channels, also think this book is very unfair and is not telling the whole truth. And Elvis hasn't been able to have his say on this book because he's passed away. Right, so let's keep going. Could be that Elvis wanted her to move to Memphis. I think that's a great point you made, Felina, that he was testing the waters. He was testing the waters. But obviously, once things got more advanced, and especially once you got the pressure to get married, which many of you say that Elvis was pressured into this marriage by Priscilla's parents, by the colonel, and maybe a little bit by the father, because Vernon felt that Elvis had made promises. So things took a different turn once it got a bit more serious and the wedding happens. So, but Elvis did make that commitment. He did go, right, let's do it. Whatever led to that point, Elvis did make that commitment. They did get married. And at that point, if you listen to the Memphis Mafia interviews, he had decided to be faithful. He had, yeah, especially when it was found out that she was pregnant. And remember, just when Elvis is just saying, look, I'm going to have to change how I live and be faithful to Priscilla, she sleeps. And this isn't alleged. This is fact, as far as I know. She sleeps with, I'm going to say alleged because I wasn't there. So allegedly, she does sleep with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, the guy who owned the dance studio, a few months after the baby was born. And I think at that point, Elvis is like, I ain't sleeping with you. He's caught her doing it. There's no way he's going to sleep with her. This has nothing to do with the fact that she's had a baby. They more or less had split up because of him catching her being unfaithful so blatantly, so soon after the wedding, so soon after Lisa Marie was born. And Elvis couldn't bear to touch her because another man had been there, in my opinion. Not fact, just an opinion. Some of you also that have that opinion. And that is the reason they stopped sleeping together, guys. I think, in my opinion, not definite. So you see where I'm going, guys. So then after that, Elvis goes on with his life. And yes, he has affairs. We know about the girl off the 68 comeback. So, right, let's have a look. So we've got about the Rolling Stone. I missed that. Everybody plays full sometimes. Even Elvis. Yeah, he's a human. He was naughty. I'm not whitewashing Elvis. Elvis could be very naughty. Definitely. He was no angel. Right, so CL, he's a guy and she let him. Dad wisdom. Right, so Felina, she admitted that she was not a prisoner at Graceland. She had freedom and money to spend with hobbies. She definitely did, Felina. She was not a prisoner. She had a right good time. Don't forget, even her sister would come and stay with her and her brother. she was friends with all the wives of the Memphis Mafia, and she had joined loads of different clubs, doing all different interests, even acting lessons. Yeah, and she was no way was she a prisoner. If anything, Elvis did the opposite. He made sure that she was kept busy. What I mean by made sure, I mean he paid for whatever she wanted to do. So putting that book, right, Priscilla, she admitted, right, Wicked, Felina, I keep calling you Wicked, you're not Wicked, you're Felina, right. Priscilla sued Cary Grant, not the woman who wrote the Child Bride book. It says a lot, it does, it definitely does. It doesn't add up. We know that she sued Cary Grant. I think there was an issue with Cary Grant where Priscilla had accused him of raping her, and it's not true. So when they were arguing, I know that Cary Grant lost the lawsuit, and she had $75,000 damages awarded to Priscilla. But this is just rumor. This is rumor. But it was in the end agreed that he wouldn't have to pay the $75,000 if he kept his mouth shut. Rumor. Yeah. I can't prove that. It is not fact. This is just hearsay. Right. Right. So Felina says, putting the book into a mini series and a movie is abusive to Lisa Marie. It is child abuse. Are we talking about? All right. Okay. We are talking about Elvis and me, Felina. The funny thing is, if you look at an old interview of Priscilla talking about Lisa Marie, we're talking like in the 80s or 90s, that she actually says that that Lisa Marie had read the book and was okay with it. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. So if I was Lisa Marie and I read this book and it clearly shows Priscilla admitting that she had an affair a few months after Lisa Marie was born, I would be going mental. I'd be going crazy. I'd be screaming my head off at my mother saying, how dare you sleep with someone just after I was born? That would be enough for me to not speak to my own mother for 10 years. That's my opinion. If someone now today said to me, oh, did you know that your mum, a few months after you were born, when you were just a baby, had sex with someone else? I'd be going psycho. I'd be going mental. Come on, guys, you would as well. It is such a serious thing that we found. This is why I cheered when we found it the other day. That those 5 words, yeah, we had a brief affair and I ended it. Yeah. Come on, guys. We can scream it from the rooftops because it completely makes us all understand that the depths you have to go to be unfaithful. Forget Priscilla. The depths you have to go to be unfaithful to your partner months after a baby's born, a year after the marriage, are so extreme. Do you agree, guys? It is so extreme, so extreme. I'm surprised she put it in this book. I am surprised she put it in the book. She literally hung herself by those 5 words. I'm getting carried away again, aren't I? Right, let's go back to your message. Right, let's go. So, Felina, I totally agree. She could have raised up Elvis's memory instead of planting unfounded lies. Yes. Yes. And you know what? Tracy, I love that comment. If this book, because this book didn't have to be a tell-all, did it? It didn't have to be a, let's say the bad bits, let's say the bad bits. This book could have completely painted everything in a different light and the fans would love her. The fans would love her and they would have always loved her. Yeah? She chose to do it in a way that created sympathy, that made her look like a victim. Poor me. What did I go through? Oh no, my life was so tough. Completely unfair. And we know as fans, she had the time of her life. And meeting Elvis was the best thing that ever happened to her. And she has benefited for 50 years in so many ways. And I'm not saying this to be hateful. I'm not saying this to be ever, but Elvis did not deserve this book to be written. Elvis did not deserve it. And even the mini-series that was in 88, which is on YouTube if you want to watch it, guys, Elvis didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. And the Memphis Mafia with the tell-all book, he didn't deserve it. He did so much good. He didn't deserve it. And us Elvis fans, this is what the point of this channel is. We're searching for the truth. We're here to defend Elvis. Us Elvis fans know that he didn't deserve it. And this is what I was saying to you yesterday, guys. We are probably the only channel that actually clearly have made our point to say we are going to defend Elvis. There's many channels, very good channels, like Elvis Rare Photos and Rhonda and Shauna, that are always defending Elvis. Loads. And I love hearing other Elvis channels defending Elvis and standing up to Priscilla. I love it. But as far as I can see, we're the only one where it's in the title. And I encourage anyone watching this, I encourage them, do channels to defend Elvis. Let's come together. Lots of channels. Let's all come together to defend Elvis and find the truth. We need to do this. We need to build a movement. The movement needs to grow. That we're here and we're going to disagree with stuff. Yeah? Right. So if the parents' intentions on the up and up, why send your 14-year-old daughter to spend a long hours at night with a rock and roll singer? They had ideas up their sleeves. Felina. Right. I need to just think about what you've just said. Right. See, whenever the 14-year-old thing gets brought up, Felina, my ears prick up. My like, bing, because we have to take things back to the late 1950s, where it was very normal for a man in his 20s to marry a woman that is 16, 17, and 18. So parents were looking for the younger, more innocent girls that had a decent reputation to find a wife for their men. Yeah. So let's go back to 1959 or 1960, whatever. Yeah. So then you say the daughter to spend long hours at night with a rock and roll singer. They had ideas at their sleeves. I will also say this. I don't think that, this is just in my opinion, that Priscilla's parents knew that they were staying up late kissing. I don't think they knew that. I think they just thought the teenage fan, yeah, was visiting Elvis in his home in Germany, and they'd become quite close friends. And I think that was it. Now, remember that Elvis, in theory, if we go by the book, Priscilla does give the impression that there was a bit more than kissing. She doesn't say what more than kissing. She doesn't say it. She just says, "Oh yeah, you know, he held me closely, and I felt things I've never felt before." Yeah. But I will say this: that Priscilla has always said that they didn't have sex until the night of the wedding, and I stand by that. And my point is to your comment, Felina, is it was pretty normal for girls very young in the 50s to be getting ready to meet a man in his 20s so they can get married. That was quite normal. And we don't like to hear it, but even as young as 14. And I'm talking about the 50s and the 60s. Now, we would never accept that now. And I'm completely against that. I do not agree that a girl that young should be with a man in his 20s. I'm completely against it. But I'm living in 2024. In 1959, 1960, it was different. Right. Let's just go. Let me just, right. CO, really interesting interview with the Jordanaires, who also worked with Ricky Nelson. They made comparisons on working with Rick and Elvis. Good info. I'll look that up. CO, thank you. Felina, he was looking for a girl, his mother, who would be happy with him to marry, and a virgin. She turned out to be the opposite. Yeah, she did, Felina. And I agree, he was. But that was very normal in those days. It was very normal to try and find the right girl. Really, you wanted a home girl that was decent, that was going to be home for the family, to keep house and look after the kids. In the 50s, completely normal. So on point, I once lived near a military base. You do not send your unchaperoned daughter to a party with a randy serviceman. Yeah, that's true. But come on, it was Elvis Presley. It was Elvis. As soon as it's Elvis Presley, different rules, because money, fame, it taints everything. Now, I'm not saying it was right. I tell you now, if it was my daughter, no way. We're all different, aren't we? All right, bye, cat girl. Thanks a lot. I think we're going to sign off soon because we've been on for quite a while. I want to do a bit of exercise, go for a run. Lisa Marie reading that her mother wanted to abort her and all the rotten things that she wrote about her father, who was only kind and generous to her, is abusive. Lisa Marie reading that her own... Yes, that book must have tore her apart when she read it. I agree. I wouldn't want my kid to read a book like that about me, Felina. Sean Mum published a book telling that you wanted me to have an abortion. Yeah. Not good, is it, Seal? So wicked, also crappy to Pris, tell the twins. So you have to be very comfortable with lying to cheat on your partner. Especially that kind of cheating. Whew. Some good points being made. Yeah, Elvis didn't want his fans to think of him badly. He didn't deserve it. Thanks, Vanessa. Welcome aboard. You are so correct. Your channel is the only one that is digging for the truth. The fans want the truth. I wouldn't say I'm the only one that's talking about it, because I've heard Rhonda defending Elvis, and I've heard Shauna on her channel defending Elvis, and the other one is Elvis Rare Photos, and there's a few others, Elvis the Man, there's a couple of others, and they do defend Elvis, and they do say things about Priscilla, that she's treated Elvis badly. But we are the only one that is titled in this way, that is saying, look, if you're on our channel, we're here to defend Elvis and search for the truth. So I'm very proud of it. But if other people started doing it, brilliant, because we need to grow the movement. We need to grow it. So laws changed in the South where the age was very young to marry, about 1958. So it became a no-no to marry a girl even at 16. I looked up the legal age and changes per state. Okay, Felina, yeah. I personally don't think people are ready to get married in their teens. I think people shouldn't really be getting married until they're over 21, because people aren't mature enough. This is just my old-fashioned opinion. So let's have a look. So I will say this, guys. Our channel is very new. It's only really been 2 to 3 weeks where we've gone down this road of search for the truth, defending Elvis, and we're doing it as a united front. It's quite a new thing. So we together are the newbies. Yeah. So, thankfully at the moment, the channel is having slow growth, because we're not getting millions of views or tens of thousands of views. I think the average views we're getting is around 500 views per video. Yeah, it's not massive, but I like it because we can talk to each other. We're getting to know each other, and the channel is having slow growth. So we are the originators of this channel, us now. Yeah, like I think last night I did a live. There were 40 people were joined in. It's a nice, comfy number. Now, I wonder, how this channel is going to grow. I don't know. But I know this. I want to do it. I'm enjoying it. So maybe we should remember these times where it's the early days of the channel, and fingers crossed the channel is going to keep growing. Who knows, guys? Who knows? But please subscribe. Right, where are we? So you are so correct. Right, okay. Laws, right, okay. Let me just, I'm trying to catch up with these comments, so I'm going to go and do some exercise in a minute. Pris's parents knew it in child bride. She dragged home at 2 a.m. and was too tired to keep up with school. In Germany, she was not coming home until well past midnight, even school nights, where all the parents at. So, but that age of consent was still young in Germany. It was 14, okay? Pris's mum pushed her to Elvis. It says that in the child bride book. I don't know if it's true, but it says it in the book. If she was desperate to meet him, her parents should have accompanied her. Felina says Elvis's mum married Vernon at 21. Yeah, I think Vernon was younger, wasn't he? She was 21. He was, wasn't he 19? Then we've got Truth Seekers. Yeah. Very good. I still prefer Search for the Truth. Still prefer it. I can recommend Rhonda's channel, Presley Mania. Yeah, both brilliant. She reads out all the divorce documents. We're interested in Elvis's divorce. Yeah, and I've done the divorce documents on this channel. And the other thing, I haven't quite done it yet, but there's some more stuff that has been released about Michael Lockwood, isn't there, where he's trying to get $150,000 of legal fees. I haven't done a video on it yet because I wanted to learn more about Michael Lockwood and make a big thing of it rather than just mention that small thing. But this was on Shauna's channel, and my guess is that Rhonda will do it as well. But Rhonda's got a great channel. I would be streaming every day if I had as many as you. I would be ecstatic. Been trying for years. All right, Felina. Well, your channel, I think your channel is really good, Felina. Guys, check out Felina's channel. She's got a very interesting channel. And I tell you what, I am ecstatic. I am. I love my channel. I feel very, very lucky. And I talk to my brother, my twin brother, a lot, saying I'm so pleased that these people these people actually want to hear what I've got to say. I'm like, thank you. Why? But I think it's probably because it's very obvious that I'm very passionate and love Elvis. And I speak from the heart. I think it's that. I think that is coming through. Yeah, because I love Elvis so much, just like you guys do. I can recommend. Right, Vernon was 17 when he married Gladys. Yeah, I know he was younger. Was it 17? I don't think he was 17, was he? I thought he was 19, Tracy. But shall I Google it? Let's Google it, Tracy. How old was Vernon when he married Gladys? 17. Tracy, you get a gold star again. You're getting too many gold stars. I told you how clever you are. Tracy, I know that you did really well at school. I want you to admit it to me. So yes, Gladys was 21, and as far as I know, he lied about his age so they could get married. Yep, I think we know this. Oh, that's good, Felina. See, look, Felina, we've got more subscribers for you. Thanks for that, Tracy. You should take down notes on dates and monies, etc. for those documents. Nadia, we've mentioned this before. I don't have that many documents because we've got Elvis's divorce. We've got the 2 divorce settlements. We've got the Barry Siegel and Lisa Marie court documents, the Bridget Cruz documents. Yeah, that's happening now with Priscilla, the lawsuit. There isn't much else. A lot of what we guys are talking about is what we're talking about. It's not. There's no real evidence, not really, unless it's in these books. And I wouldn't say that books are evidence. Even in the interviews that are all over YouTube, I wouldn't say that that's 100% evidence, is it? It's like, yeah, they say it on YouTube in interviews, but does that make it? Is it proof? Not really. So let's have a look. So we've got Lockwood's divorce strategy seemed to be coached by Priscilla. Well, I definitely know that Priscilla, when the divorce was happening with Lisa Marie, Priscilla, it is said to me in comments, so I don't know, but I've read in the comments that Priscilla sided with Michael Lockwood. Yeah. So again, I need to learn more about it. I don't know enough about Michael Lockwood or the twins, Finley and Harper. I don't know enough about them to properly comment. I don't even know much about the relationship that Lisa Marie had with Michael Lockwood. It's a massive chapter that I have to learn about. I'm going to make time for it. Especially when Elvis had to say, well, Elvis decree as well, info there. Yeah, I agree, because it is said that in the decree that it's written down that she couldn't use the Presley name. Is that right, Nadia? So documents are evidence. Yeah, we need the documents. So and they are all freely available to get. When you Google it, it all comes up. Left school with 3 O-levels, but did go to night school for a few years while working full time. Tracy, I'm just teasing you. I left school when I was 15 with nothing, but I was very successful in business. I retired when I was 46. So me being a real flunk at school didn't harm me, because I was a very hardworking person with my twin brother. Me and my brother were very, very hardworking, and that's how we made a success of our lives. Yes, Michael and Priscilla sided against Lisa. Yeah, I need proof of that, Felina. I need to, like, right, bang. History will not be kind to Priscilla. Yes, in divorce documents, asked her to drop the Presley name, and I've seen this in loads of comments, Felina, but I haven't read it. I want to read it. I want to go, right, there's the document, and there it is. I haven't got the decree. I haven't found the decree. So I'd love to, definitely, because then I could read it out to you guys and go, yeah. So if any of you find it, let me know where the link is, because I really would like to go through that. Right, we're coming up to 2 hours. We've got 2.5 minutes. So I want to go, and I need to do some exercise and try and work off some of this belly fat. I'm going to do a run as well. And then I've got to go and pick up Tino. I get Tino at 1 o'clock. So you know, guys, that when I get Tino, he's going to be bouncing up and down behind me like a little rabbit, which just makes me laugh. Yeah. Thanks, Seol. Yep. No, she does read them out. She's yeah, that's probably true, Felina. But I still want to read it. I want to see it. Right, I've got to sign off, guys. So I always say the usual now. Please subscribe. If there's people watching me now or watching us now chatting, please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, because it means that when I go on to do my live streams, I try and do 3 a day, but generally I'm doing 2 a day. You'll get notified, and we can all join in together. Please join the channel. Please, it's only 99 cents to join the channel. And Felina joined. Thank you so much. It means everything to me. It's not just about the money. It's not really about the money joining my channel. It's a thank you to me. It's I like what you do. And there's another button where you can buy me a coffee. It's not about getting your money, guys. I like a pat on the back. Oh, well done. You're doing okay. That's what it is to me. Yeah. So if you buy me a coffee, or if you join my channel, it's like, oh, I'm doing something right. It's all about that. So thanks, guys. All the best to you. And hopefully by the end of today, let me just quickly check, we will hit 23,000. So we're not quite there. We want 23,000. We're getting there, though. 23,000 subscribers, that is. Thanks, guys. Yes, we do need copies. Yeah, definitely. Thanks, everyone. So thank you, Tracy, Nadia, Felina. Let's just make sure I haven't missed any names. I know a lot of you will come on later and watch this. Yeah. I think that's everyone. Thanks for... Oh, I see you all as well. Cat Girl, who I think is gone. So just later on, when people start watching this live stream, good morning to you. I hope you had a nice sleep, because a lot of you are just waking up. All the best. Thanks a lot. I'm going to go now, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Thanks for everything.